Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fourth Down Focus Week 3 predictions episode. I've just looked through all our predictions, and you're in for an absolute rotter. I'm not going to lie to you. We've all pretty much picked the exact same teams, so we'll try to keep it interesting. But we've got the question that we had in Week 1, but this time James is asking it about the college drafted from Type B. So I'll pass it over to James as me and Kian try guess the college, and I'm going to win, not the college, the team.
Yeah, I think this is difficult, but I think Max will get this quickly.
Yeah, boy.
It's purely because of one of the colleges, but I'm going with this. So, quarterback from Oklahoma, receiver from Ohio State, running back from Pitt.
I mean, straight off the bat, solely because of Ohio State, I'd be willing to go. No, not Ohio State, sorry. Oklahoma, I'd be willing to go Bucks, but I don't think it is.
No, that's not wide receiver. It's not wide receiver one.
Okay, this is going down. I thought this would be like an instant guess, so I'm happy now.
No, because it's a wide receiver one from Ohio State, and there isn't that many of them, and it's not Terry McLaurin because Jaden Daniels was LSU. It's not Garrett Wilson because Justin Fields was also Ohio State. So it's the Seahawks.
Nope.
What?
I'm racking the brain, and it's not racking very much.
No! It's the Cardinals. It's the Cardinals.
It's the Cardinals, yes. Kyler Murray went to Oklahoma. Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State.
It really threw me off.
James Conner went to Pitt.
Pitt threw me off.
I'm happy that wasn't like I genuinely thought because Ohio State wide receiver ones, I noticed there aren't many, so I was like, he's going to get this pretty quick. But I'm glad it took at least more than like
for some reason. Marv was like the last one to come to my mind.
I suppose recency, you don't really think of it. He's only drafted like 2 years ago. So, yeah, right. We'll go straight into it then, I guess. Actually, glad that wasn't an instant guess. First game, Bills versus the Dolphins. And probably, as I said, there's a few predictions here where I didn't even check what Max and Kian have said because I knew what they were going to do.
I actually said Dolphins.
Well, then you can lose the point then.
No. This was the easiest decision for the entire week, I think, apart from maybe Packers Browns, which we'll get onto obviously. Dolphins, they had a bit of a better game last week. I'll give them that, but still couldn't get it over the line, and I still don't think they're going to be much better against maybe the best team in the AFC. So it's pretty straightforward. There's not much to say really.
Kian?
It's going to be as one-sided as I cannot say that on here. It's going to be a terrible, terrible game to watch, and I just think the Bills are going to smash them, and I'm going to stop talking before I get myself into trouble with this game.
I just can't see it going any other direction than this being a very, very easy win for the Bills, and I hope for my fantasy team's sake that is the case. Just the Dolphins' defense, I think, is actually the second worst so far, obviously behind ours. But I just don't see a world where they can put up enough points in offense to counteract Josh Allen. So I think, as Max said, there isn't a lot to say about this game because I think all round it's actually pretty easy just to say say Buffalo, and move on, I guess. Unless anyone's got any other input about this game.
Why is it a primetime game?
Yeah,
that's a great question. I have input. It's not to do with this game. I just want to let everyone know that I went 14-2 last week in predictions, and the King is back.
And you're still joint last.
A joint last technically isn't last when you think about it.
You joint with me.
It's just joint second.
You joint with me who predicted the Giants.
I had a bad first week, all right. So 14-2, I'll take it, and I'm going 15-1 this week. Gradual improvement.
I mean, these games are pretty easy. I can't
That's
lie.
The only one I'm going to get wrong is the Browns are going to get a shocking upset victory over Green Bay.
Put the drugs down.
I'll delete the pod. I'll delete the channel if the Browns beat the Packers.
Do everyone a favour, mate.
Next up, Bucks versus the Jets, and again with Justin Fields officially ruled out, it is Tyrod Taylor season in New York for the Jets, and again this was pretty easy.
I mean,
even if Fields was playing, I'd still have backed the Bucks.
I would have taken a bit more thought. But
they were looking better. They looked all right against the Texans. I know obviously it came a little bit close in the end, but Mayfield is just on fire, and he sort of picked up where he left off last year. And I think he's just going to continue to do that. And the Jets defense is not going to have enough for him. And the offense won't have enough for the defense either. So basically, they're fine.
Max?
The only world I would have picked the Jets in this game is if Justin Fields wasn't injured and Baker Mayfield actually was injured, like I think everyone thought he was for about 5 seconds in that game on Monday night when he went down holding his leg. Everyone was like, "Oh fuck, Baker's out," and then he stood up and chatting shit to Gardner Johnson. But yeah, I don't see a world where the Bucs lose this one, unfortunately, for Tyrod Taylor and the Jets.
It's an interesting question, actually. If Baker was injured, who is actually the backup? Do anyone know who the backup quarterback is for the Bucs? Because I've just looked it up.
I want to say it's Kyle Trask.
It's not Kyle Trask.
Was he even on the roster?
No. Not according to this is according to SofaScore. He could be on there, but on there, he's not on there. According to SofaScore, which again could be wrong, it's Teddy Bridgewater.
Bring him back.
So that'll be an interesting one. If Baker
has a quarterback issue, I'll take Teddy.
But no, I think even with Fields, I would have bet the Bucs. It may have taken a bit more thought process, but without him, I mean, I watched Tyrod Taylor play for the Giants, and yeah, I know exactly what is coming in this sort of game. Although the Bucs weren't as good as I expected them to be against the Texans, albeit it's a tough defense to go up against. But they did get the win in the end, and I think they're going to get another win and start the season in the perfect way. I think for them, seeing Fields being injured was sort of like they almost like guarantee, right, this game's sorted, we'll be fine. Not that they probably already thought that anyway, because it is the Jets after all. But yeah, for me, I'm going with the Bucs. Next up, finally some differential. The Patriots versus the Steelers, and I suppose I'll let Max go first because he's the actual one who's gone differently to us two
here. Once again, I backed the Patriots to be the 7th seed in the NFC, so they should probably start winning some games. They got the win over Miami last week, which I think we all predicted. So I just don't think the Steelers. We all thought week 1 we were like, fucking hell, Aaron Rodgers is back. This is incredible, but last week, I didn't see the same team. Obviously, Caleb Johnson had that horrendous error, which will haunt him for the rest of his life. I saw that he's been taken off of kick returns yesterday. I just think Aaron Rodgers he's only going to play well when he's got like a vendetta against the other team. So maybe if they play like Green Bay, they might get a shock win. But nah, I'm going with the Pats in a close one here. I think it'll be low scoring. Maybe the Pats win by a field goal. KG one.
I will argue the toss that Rodgers still threw for over 200 yards and a touchdown, even with the loss against the Seahawks. But I don't know. I just can't. I think the Steelers aren't that bad at all. I think without that, whatever you want to use to describe what Caleb Johnson did for them on the weekend, without that, I genuinely think their game against the Seahawks is close, and they might even nick a win. But obviously, that put them. I think it was 2 scores down at the time, and it pretty much wrote the game off late on. But I like the Steelers. I think they were really good week 1. Obviously, not so good against the Seahawks, but still showed promise in parts. I think Rodgers is, he's proven he's still got something left to give in the league, which I think a lot of us had written him off as useless going into the year, but I don't think he's quite there yet. But they're going to need a better performance in all areas to beat the Pats, because as much as they did struggle against a pretty bad Dolphins team, there is potential on that Pats offense, especially Kayshon Boutte. He's been really, really good, and I have no idea why. But that's an interesting one.
He's a good player. He's a good player, and he was also insane for LSU. That don't get spoken about that much because he just kind of buried on the Patriots depth chart. But he was insane at LSU.
Some of the LSU was wide receiver university, Max.
Shut the fuck up. I also forgot to say fuck Pittsburgh. Okay, Kian, say your piece.
I just struggled to see the hype around the Patriots. I mean, they let Geno Smith throw for over 350 yards, I want to say it was a ridiculous performance. And they let us win a game. Yeah, I think you're spot on. But if they're letting him do that, and we all saw what he did on Monday, I'm sure we'll get onto it. But if we're letting him do that, then I'm sorry, but that's not a winning football team. Okay, they might have beaten Dolphins. I reckon the Leicester Panthers could beat the Dolphins at this point. So I'm just struggling to see where they're good, to be honest with you. So give me Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of agree. I don't really see all too much of the hype with the Patriots. There is potential. There's also a young-ish team, and there's sort of I think it'll take a while for them to build up under variable, but I think they will get there at some point. But I just don't see them beating a team like the Steelers.
I don't think that point is right now.
No.
I think the Patriots' biggest issue is actually the defense. Apart from Christian Gonzalez and maybe Keon White, they've not got much going. I mean, Milton Williams, they signed him too. But apart from that, 3 players, they've not got much else going for them.
No, definitely not. I think that'll be where they look to improve in the draft. I think I'd be surprised if it's not a defensive player in the first round of next year's draft for the Patriots, wherever they may be in the draft order. Next up, the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. And this was another one where I didn't really check what you two had said because I sort of just assumed this was going to be the case, and it was the case. We've all gone for the Falcons to win this one. I mean, similar story to the Bills, really.
Well, I said the Bills was the easiest one to pick, and this actually might have been easier because I'm quite a big fan of the Falcons this season, and I think they could probably sneak into the playoffs in the NFC because the Commanders don't look that good, and I think that's who I had in the 7 seed for that spot. So I think the Falcons definitely have a chance to sneak in there. The Vikings game, I think, although it wasn't a very great game to watch, they did dominate that game. And they showed JJ McCarthy for the fraud he is. That defense was really good. I like all the rookies they've got in. They've got JPJ, Jalen Walker. It was Bowman with the pick, I believe, and Xavier Watts as well. So I really like their defense. And Penix is getting something going. And once again, Kyle Pitts, he's not playing that bad. He's actually getting targets and doing stuff with it. And once again, Bijan Robinson is him, and he might be my favourite running back in the league, not called Quinshon Judkins.
I think Bowman actually had 2 picks in the Vikings game, unless I'm mistaken.
Maybe.
Because I know he got picked off twice. I feel like both of them were him. But no, yeah, I sort of agree with a lot of what you said. The Falcons just look a lot better than what I expected. Obviously, I know what JPJ can do. I was amazed he fell as far as he did in the draft because I really had him as one of the top defensive prospects. I think he's showing why I thought that already. No bias at all, of course. Jalen Walker as well, as much as he is a Georgia scum, he is actually quite good. Overall, it just looks like a good team. I can't really fault too much wrong with the Falcons. I think Penix, except for debate with Penix still, I think he looks all right, but I wouldn't say he looks like a unbelievable quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he'll ever reach them sort of heights, but as long as you're fairly all right with this, when you got Bijan Robinson in the backfield, I think you'll be all right. So, yeah, I mean, the Panthers are bad. It's just really bad. I mean, they nearly came back last week, but the only bright spark in that entire team is Tet, realistically. Apart from that, maybe Chuba Hubbard as well. But no. Apart from that, it's a long year for the Panthers. I'd be surprised if they're not picking in the top 5 with how they've started the season. And yeah, I'm going with the Falcons quite easily.
I agree with basically everything you've all said, especially the Kyle Pitts point. They're actually finally using him to what he can do and what everyone thought he was going to be when he came into the league. They're spreading the ball around quite a bit as well, which, to be honest with you, they probably don't need to do with Bijan in the backfield. But everything seems to be working. And they seem to have found a reliable kicker as well. That Parker Romo was really good, actually, on Monday. Well, basically won the game. So... yeah, I struggle to see a world in which Carolina win, but big up Hunter Renfrow, man. Third and Renfrow is back, and the NFL better watch out because it's not going to win any games, but it's good to watch.
I can't say I agree with everything that's been said. I think Penix will come good. I think he's in a very good position to succeed. I think Kyle Pitts is a good weapon for him. Drake London, he's had a few drops, but I think he'll sort that out. And when he does sort that out, he's one of the better receivers in the league. He's behind a pretty solid O-line, and obviously he's got Bijan. I think Penix will end up being top 15 quarterback in a few years in the league.
And so next up, we have got the Tennessee Titans versus the Indianapolis Colts, and I am going different because I refuse to back Daniel Jones ever again. My logic is, I said it in the One Thing We Learned video, but remember how the New Orleans Saints started last season and everyone thought they were amazing and turned out to be.
They didn't look this good though.
They did, actually. It's very similar stats if you look it up. They didn't. They did not punt in their first game either.
I think the problem, James, with this is that, yeah, New Orleans did start that well, but Indianapolis are playing Tennessee in week 3. Like, if they were playing someone a bit better, I'd be like, you know what, fair enough. This could go either way, but I don't think Tennessee are very good at all.
The Titans looked all right against the Rams. They were in that game for a large part of it. I think Cam Ward is getting better as time goes on. Ayomanor is one of the best receivers in this draft class so far. And I think there is potential here to cause an upset. And as I said, I refuse to believe Daniel Jones is actually this good at football. So this has to be a drop-off at some point. And I'm going to back it to start now. And the Colts are going to end the season 2-15.
It's not going to happen. I just can't deal with this. Sorry, I was trying to find a point to have back at James there, but he is pretty spot on. But no, I'm not having it, man. People always tell me that the Broncos' defense is the best defense in football. But then Daniel Jones isn't a good quarterback. He is. He is a good quarterback, and we all saw it. And JT is a great running back as well. And the Titans aren't very good. So I just think the Colts are going to go 3-0, and then we need to start taking them seriously, James, and stop having our personal agendas against players.
They could be 9-0. I'm not taking them seriously.
There's players I don't like in this league. You'll never catch me having an agenda. So give me the Colts.
Yeah, there's just no reason why you never back the Broncos.
Well, they fucking lost on the weekend, so...
Shit, they didn't lose week. Well, this was you.
Who did they lose to, James? Who did your beloved Broncos lose to?
So Tam was playing Hurts, so that's why.
I haven't really got much else to say about this game apart from Vanilla Vic MVP. But just basically, this is completely unrelated to this game, but James brought up best receivers from this rookie class. Have the Bears used Luther Burden at all?
Nope.
Because I haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him catch a ball yet.
I don't think I have, unless I've
watched them twice. And I haven't seen him catch a ball.
I feel like they should maybe chuck him in there. I don't know who's above him in the depth chart. Is it Devin Duvernay? I think
you carry on talking. I'll find out for you.
I think it's DJ Moore, Robert Dunze, and Devin Duvernay. Which Devin Duvernay is a glorified return man. I don't know if he's anything better than that. So that just came to my head when you mentioned the rookie class. But yeah, Vanilla Vic MVP. Titans are trash, and Colts.
Well, we obviously weren't watching the Lions game because he did actually have one reception for 5 yards.
That's memorable.
That probably wasn't even on red zone.
Yeah,
definitely not. So it's Adunze, then DJ Moore, then Zacchaeus is the wide receiver 3. Basically.
All the media Zacchaeus. That's it.
Burden. Let me check week 1 because I did watch week 1. But week 2, he had 1 catch for 5 yards, and week 1, he had 1 catch for -3 yards.
He's on fire.
Not a good start for Luther Burden.
So he has 2 catches for 2 yards after 2
I thought Luther Burden was close with Emeka Ibuka, but Emeka Ibuka's far and away the best one from this class, if you ask me. No bias.
I would agree. To be fair, I don't really think there's anyone else who can, apart from Ayomanor, is the only one who's actually close to him in production.
Yeah, Matthew Golden's not had that many receptions yet. I think he will come good.
He should do now with Reed being injured. Anyway, moving on. And as Kian said, we saw what Gino did on Monday, so we've all backed the Raiders.
I thought I was going rogue with this pick, and then I seen this, and I didn't realize we'd all picked them. Which is
my logic is so what we know is Jane Daniels isn't practicing till Friday at the absolute earliest, which means you'll have 1 practice session all week, which doesn't scream a quarterback who's starting on Sunday. So if it is Marcus Mariota, the Raiders have every chance. But even if it is Jane Daniels, an injured Jane Daniels takes out his arguable best part of his game. Still, either way, they have a chance, and that's why I've gone with them. Because if we're basing it off Monday night, then Jesus Christ.
Like I was saying earlier, I'm not big on the Commanders from what I've seen from them so far. Maybe I'm just mad because Krosky Merritt was in my flex this week and he got me with 1 point. He has been taken out, by the way, in case you were wondering. But yeah, I'm glad that we've all picked the Raiders because I thought I was risking it a little bit with this pick, but it's like a free hit now because if they win, we all get the point. If they lose, we all lose the point. So I'm honestly fine with this now, actually.
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna assume I was the only one that stayed up till 6 and watched that shit show on Monday.
Yep.
So in the first quarter, we didn't look good at anything.
I watched the first quarter.
I watched the first half, so I can confirm to the first half it was really bad.
In the first half, we didn't look good at anything. Second half, the defense did carry on giving us opportunities. We forced a fumble. We made a big stop and forced them to kick a field goal. But then the offense just fucked us over. And for some reason, Chip Kelly doesn't want to use Genty. When you watch Genty, when he can actually get away from his shit O-line, he looks as if he's going to break every time. But we just don't use him. And for some reason, Zamir White comes in. If for whatever reason we actually start using Genty, bring Bowers back in, hopefully be a little bit more fit this week, we'll have more on offense to, take over when the defense do us a solid. Because that's twice in 2 games now where the defense have set us up to win and we've almost fucked it up. But they do look better. And like you say, if it's Mariota, then I have every hope that we could go 2-1. But to be honest with you, I'd rather start tanking now because we don't know win.
I think if like you said, the defense keep putting you in positions to score, I think the Commanders' defense is much worse than the Chargers, even without Khalil Mack. It's just loads of old people and Marshall Lattimore. So I think you should probably win. It might be close, especially if Daniels plays, but I still think the Raiders will win.
Mine's more of a hope than a think, but like you say, and like I said, the defense have been doing this for us every week, so let's just reward them for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I think there's something there with the Raiders team, but I think the O-line and the coaching isn't exactly helping anything.
Kenny Pickett time.
Oh God, then I might change his prediction. Moving on. This one
I got
might be
a Facebook advert the other day for a Browns Kenny Pickett jersey, and we're like, a bit late for that.
How much was it? About £1?
No, about fucking 90.
Jesus.
Yeah, this one is interesting. The Eagles versus the Rams, and I suppose a lot of people might be surprised that the majority vote here is actually towards the Rams. But I'll let Kian start, as he's probably gone with the more sensible pick, I guess.
I'm not shocked that you broke on the Rams because I almost did. The Eagles' offense didn't look great against the Chiefs, but my whole reason for picking them is because they did still get it done. I do slightly worry about if they want to use the tush push because I think the officiating of it is going to be cracked down on massively now. But I still think they've got enough to beat the Eagles, not the Eagles, the Rams.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've got like the 11th best quarterback in the league to the Eagles, so it's difficult to back them on that sense. But I just don't see. I think the Rams team is one of the few teams in this league that looks good in comparison to the Eagles. They have a quarterback who will actually throw the ball and not a running back who's going to run 24/7, so that always helps. Also, Puka and Devontae look really, really dangerous as a duo in the receiver room. I think the defense is just getting better and better over time. And also, I didn't really mean the main point of this, which is fuck the Eagles.
What it boiled down to for me was the Rams are definitely good enough defensively to shut down the Eagles' running game. And without the running game, what have they really got? Because
nothing, because the quarterback is shit.
Jalen, he's not shit, but he refuses to throw the ball, which is why I've still got Devontae Smith on the bench in fantasy. And yeah, I think Stafford is throwing that thing like his life depends on it, and he's got 2 very capable receivers downfield to get it. And Kyra Williams is always a solid option. I genuinely think the Rams will. Can you consider it an upset victory? I guess, because Super Bowl champions and all that. But I think the Rams definitely have what it takes to win this game with some comfort as well. I mean, the Eagles-Chiefs game was closer than some people might have thought. That was a boring watch. I'm glad that wasn't prime time, but yeah, I think the Rams are better than the Chiefs, and they can get the win.
Yeah, as I said, I just think the Eagles won't throw the ball because they can't, because their quarterback's incompetent throwing the ball, and the run defense.
Here he fucking goes again.
Never shut
the
agenda, and he never lets it go.
Saquon only works in a system as well, so with him like being a system running back, and the system's going to get shut down, he'll be fucked. So
that system won the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, don't care. Next up, again, another surprising one after the shit show they produced this weekend. We have gone the Vikings to beat the Bengals in what could be the greatest quarterback matchup of all time of Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning.
I personally think they should play my LinkedIn friend Sean Clifford instead of Jake Browning.
Hear me
They
out,
flex
right?
this game to like 4 a.m.
Hear me out. This might be a hot take. I think the Vikings have a better chance to win with Carson Wentz than they do with that Michigan fraud JJ McCarthy under center. So
I
give me
honestly
the
don't
Vikings all
disagree.
day.
I honestly don't disagree. JJ McCarthy looks incompetent.
He is incompetent. He's more of a
In
system
all fairness,
than Jalen Hurts.
I'm going to give him a benefit of the doubt on the week just gone because his O-line
not?
was ripped apart by injuries. He had like 3 backups on the offensive line, and they were just getting battered every play. So I'm
He's
not
still supposed to
entirely
throw the ball
surprised.
to the cunts in purple.
No, but I'm not. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for the week just gone. But I also not entirely convinced he's actually injured either, as someone said last week.
I said that on yesterday's episode, and I'm going to say it again. There's no way he's injured. I'm sorry. There was no point in that game where he limped, where he even looked like he was struggling, and then you're pulling him after he's had a shit performance. You're just shielding him from the media. That's all that's happening. And I genuinely do think they've got more chance of winning with Carson Wentz. Hence why I picked him.
My logic is Carson Wentz is probably one of the better backups in the league.
He's definitely one of the more experienced ones.
He's definitely better than Jake Browning. I think we can all put that into an absolute definite. He's better at football than Jake Browning. So, however, he does have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So that is my only sway towards. But the defense is so bad. I think Carson Wentz only has to be semi-competent. It's considering the Jags put like how many points on them.
It was close. There was in the high 20s, I think.
Yeah, like if your Jags are putting 20-something points on your head, you're fucked. Like really fucked. So that's why I've gone with the Vikings. Just
but then playing devil's advocate a little bit. Burrow's not performed either, and they've still gone 2-0.
Whoa.
Half of me made me want to go for them, but at the same time, no, I think the Vikings will win.
That first win didn't count.
Yeah, but it still happened.
We should have got 2 losses, and they should have got no win. We should have got 2 for 1. Yeah, the Bengals. Fuck the Bengals. Tiger wearing gimps. I forgot what I'm going to say now because I just don't like the Bengals. Oh yeah, James said about Browning having Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Carson Wentz has got Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson, and Jalen Nailor's a pretty capable receiver as well. I give me the Vikings all day.
That's what swayed me towards the Vikings, to be fair. I think, and then again, we also, when the fucking Dolphins lost 2, that they'll be fine because they've got Tyreek and Waddle, and we also how that went. So,
They did also have Tyler Huntley.
The difference there is
Tyler Huntley much worse than Jake Browning.
The difference in that situation is that both of the teams have their backup in, whereas like the Dolphins were playing against teams with their starting QB.
Yeah.
Both these teams are in the same situation. So who's going to be less shit, I think, is the question here. I've got the Vikings.
I suppose the Bengals are used to playing with a backup quarterback at this point.
Jake Browning played quite a lot.
He did, yeah.
He played that much that Burrow won comeback player of the year. So
he's going to win it next year as well.
Yeah, I know.
Next up, the Browns versus the Packers, and this took absolutely no thought at all. Max?
Oh, coming to me. Oh,
yeah. It is your team after all.
Is it? I won't say that. This was actually the easiest game to pick because I don't think we have a chance in hell. We are bottom 3 team in the NFL versus who I would say is the best team in the NFL right now. I think if we play Dylan Gabriel, his career might get cut short by Micah Parsons and the Packers defense, but also if we play Joe Flacco, he might get sent to the retirement home early. So maybe just is Deshaun fit enough to play? Just throw him in there as like bait, cannon fodder. I don't know. Just chuck him out there. I don't know if we have. I mean, the only prediction I have for this game, other than the money line, is that we might be able to shut down Josh Jacobs because so far we genuinely, I think, have had the best rushing defense in the NFL. We shut down the Bengals and we shut down the Ravens. I think we might be able to shut down these runners as well, but I think they'll be fine passing the ball just like Lamar was. And our offense struggles to score a point. We got a lucky sort of touchdown that should have been a pick with Cedric Tillman against the Ravens. And then Dylan Gabriel came in and threw one to Dylan Sampson, little Dylan to Dylan connection, which I don't think we're going to see very many times this season. But yeah, give me the Packers might put 50 on us, and it wouldn't shock me. And I'm glad that we are at Post Malone on Sunday, so that I don't have to watch this game.
We're not speaking about that. No, to be fair, I just didn't even question it. I just put down the Packers and moved on to the next one because it was such an easy decision. They look like real contenders. I'm not sure they're quite there yet as far as the Super Bowl, but I think definitely a good playoff run is very, very likely for this team. If even an NFC Championship game, I wouldn't be entirely surprised. Obviously, losing Jaden Reed isn't ideal, but again, they got a weird way. Like Tucker Kraft is basically their whole offense for some absurd reason, which I'm not complaining because he's in my fantasy team, but they distribute the ball very weirdly between their receivers. It's interesting, but with Parsons on the defense, they just look unstoppable. And I'm so happy that I can actually watch Micah Parsons now and not have to absolutely detest the bloke every time I watch him play because he played for the Cowboys. It's quite refreshing to actually watch him and want the team he's on to win for a change. And that will continue this week. But yeah, Packers just look really, really good. But I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with the ball without Jaden Reed for however long it's going to be without him.
In other news about this game, we're wearing our alternate uniforms and our brown helmets that are new. That's
what a win for the Cleveland Browns. The only thing I can really say about this game that isn't just the Browns are shit is that I think that the Golden Love connection, it's shown signs that it is going to pop off, and he's missed him on some bowls where he has been open. If they can get that connection nailed down, which this could be a great game to start that, then it will start to become something dangerous in the league. And I think this probably will be the game where that does begin with how shit the Browns have been. So, but apart from that, like everyone said, I didn't even think about it. Give me the games.
I had something else to say. I forgot. Oh yeah, the promising sign about Jordan Love so far, I'd say, is the fact that his turnovers have shot down in the past, like towards the end of last season and start of this season. His biggest issue was the amount of interceptions he threw and the amount of dodgy throws he put up. He sort of cut down on that, and I think if he keeps that down, then the Packers easily make the playoffs and win the NFC North like I predicted them to. And I don't think that we're going to be making any picks because we don't look like we've got anyone capable of doing that at the minute. We're pretty much just the front four. That's what our defense is at this point. Just Myles Garrett, basically.
You got Denzel.
Yeah, but he's not like Denzel's not. I can't remember the last time Denzel had a pick. To be honest, like he's great.
Three last season.
That's not the point, James. Have you watched the Browns this season?
Yeah, but you can have 20 picks. It won't matter because you still lose.
Exactly. Because as soon as the offense get the ball, it's game over. Because Joe Flacco, as much as it pains me to say, is officially washed. But also, we can't really throw in the two rookie backups that we've got. Definitely not Shador. I don't even think Shador's been practicing.
Well, can you please throw Shador in as bait against these lot? I'd love to see his legs something else.
If we throw either of them in this our next game stretch is this, and then I think it's the Lions, and then the Vikings, and then the Steelers. I don't want to see our rookies play against any of those defenses. I'm not going to lie to you. So just keep Flacco in until then, and then maybe like when we play the Dolphins, we can throw the young Hawaiian boy out there. I don't know.
I do think it would be quite poetic to see Dallas Cowboys star Deion Sanders' injured by Micah Parsons. That would be quite funny. But
he's not going to play this season. I don't think Shador's going to play.
Good, doesn't deserve it.
Do you think he'll ever play for the Browns?
He will, but I genuinely think this season Deshaun has more chance of starting a game because apparently he's almost back to fitness, which I don't like.
They'll cut him. Moving on, Jacksonville versus Houston, and I was tempted a bit with how Jacksonville have done offensively in the last couple of weeks and how not very well Houston have done offensively in the first two games, but we've all gone with the Texans on this one, but I think it's closer than people may think.
What it boiled down to for me was, like you said, the Bengals' defense is bad, and Jacksonville were able to score on it a couple of times. I think the Texans' defense is still quite good, despite not the ideal start for them. And I think that when it comes down to offense versus offense, the Texans do have more firepower and should be able to get past this Jacksonville team with somewhat comfort, I suppose.
I'm still sort of struggling to see why Trevor Lawrence and BTJ can't connect in the red zone, because they had a great chance for it on Sunday and it just didn't happen again. And that, for me, should be their most exciting offensive connection, but it's just not happening. And like Max said, the Bengals defense is terrible. They put a few up on them, but the Houston one is a lot better. And I think this will be the Texans' first win. I think they didn't look as bad on, was it Monday they played?
It was Tampa
They
game.
They didn't look as bad on Monday as they did in the first week. So yeah, I think they'll get their first win.
I mean, I can't say enough how boring I think the Texans are to watch. I said it in the video.
They never used to be that.
No, they're just boring. Like, they're a good defensive team, which does always sort of coincide with being a bit boring. But I think, as Kian said, I think Brian Thomas Jr. has taken a huge step back. He looks scared to catch the ball. Like, it's really, really weird considering how good he was last year to how bad he's been. Like, a scary level of drop-off bad. In, a Liam Cohen offense, I should arguably get better. The guy's, improved the Tampa Bay offense quite a lot. So I'm surprised I just don't understand it. I'm watching some of the videos and it's such easy catches he's missing. It's not like it's like ridiculous, stupid grabs over defenders. They're wide open catches in very little coverage. So I'm intrigued to see what's happening there.
I don't think you can blame T-Law for any of those drops either, really.
They're straight on him.
There was one on Sunday where,
yeah, but then that I've seen have all been, they've hit his hands, and if the ball is hitting your hands, you should be catching it. That's the way I see it. But
no, there was one where he's missed him, but even if he hits him, like you boys are saying, he's dropping it. So yeah, I don't know what's happened to him.
I feel really bad for the fantasy owners that have him. I don't know who has him in our league.
I
don't. Next up, we have got the Seattle Seahawks versus New Orleans Saints, and we are all backing the Saints to expectedly start 0-3.
I just struggle to see a world where they win a game. They looked better, I will say, against the Niners, but that was a heavily depleted 49ers on offense, and they still couldn't get the job done. This Seahawks team has looked pretty good. I just see no way the Saints win this game. There's not a lot I can even speak about on it, to be honest.
See, you said it, but I just don't think the Saints have been bad. I just think they've been outclassed as far as quality of team, which is what we expected, but they're not awful, and it kind of scares me.
They're not as bad as I thought they'd be.
When we play them, I'm actually quite scared because there is quite a big chance we will end up losing that game. But no, I don't think they're that bad. But as you said, the Seahawks have been good. I think the connection between Darnold with JSN and Cooper Kupp has been good, as we probably all expected it to be going into the year. Darnold doesn't seem to, he's not necessarily hitting the absolute massive heights, but he's not slowed down too much. He's been absolutely fine in his first two games as a Seahawk. Again, has a very good offensive line, which always helps a quarterback. And he should be massively high on confidence after getting a 14-win season and a massive paycheck to go along with it. So it'll be intriguing to see how they get on for the rest of the season. But I think in this game, it should be a relatively easy win for them. But I will say, Spencer Rattler, for all the shit that I gave him in preseason, he actually just has been quite average as a quarterback. I wouldn't say he's been terrible.
I'm just going on my phone. I'm not being ignorant to look at the Saints games for the rest of this season, and I would say that the ceiling for them is probably 3 wins. They play the Panthers twice. I think that series might get split, and then they also play the Dolphins. I think they've definitely got a chance there, and they play the Titans quite late in the season. Other than that, I don't see another game where they win this season.
I think they play us as well.
You missed the Giants.
I think they play us as well.
There's no. We're just being. You're both just picking. They don't play the Browns, so that's lucky for them.
Unlucky for them.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You're just being like, oh, our teams are so shit. Shut up. The Saints are terrible. Let's not take the piss. And I think JSN is going to have a Randy Moss type game against this Saints defense. I think he's going to have like 10 catches for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Right.
What is the betting line on that?
I don't know, but I'm not going to back it. I'm not going to back it.
Definitely not. Next up, Chargers vs Broncos, and we have all agreed yet again with the Chargers beating the Broncos to move them to 3-0 and give them a very healthy lead over the Chiefs in their division. This was I'm not entirely like wowed by the Chargers at the minute. I think, especially against the Raiders, there was, especially in the fourth quarter, looking back on the highlights, wasn't great at all. I think, there's definitely room to improve in this Chargers team. I'm not saying they won't get there. It could just be early season and getting used to the team. But Hampton hasn't been great, which has surprised me because I thought in a Harbaugh offense, it would be the perfect place for him to sort of show exactly what he was about at UNC. Because I believe he had like 28 touchdowns in his last season with them. So I'm very surprised to see him, struggling for yards, getting I think he's averaging like less than 3 yards a carry at the minute, which isn't great at all. But I think the Broncos, I don't know. They're just a weird team at the minute. First week they looked all right. Last week they were terrible. So maybe they're just going good, bad, good, bad. So they might be good this week and win. But I think the Chargers just on pure quality alone have enough to get this one done.
For me, this game is this is the lesser of two evils, the Chargers. But at the same time, like James said, I'm not wowed by them. I'm seeing people say outrageous claims about how good they are. They weren't that great against us. Our defense, our secondary isn't good at all, hence the Quentin Johnson touchdown. The rest of it was just very basic stuff that we missed out on. Whereas the Broncos, wow, the less said about them, the better. Bo Nix had a terrible game the first week. He did look a little bit better last week, but they obviously still lost. I don't know. I don't like either of them, but I like the Chargers a tiny bit more. So give me the Chargers.
I think that although you both definitely have a point and there's room for improvement, I think the Chargers look far and away the best team in this division, and I think they will win it, stopping the Chiefs' reign of terror.
10 years.
I think that Hampton will come good. I think he's just having a bit of a slow start, a few early wobbles, but he'll end up having a pretty solid season. Quentin Johnson he realized he had hands, which is always good as a wide receiver. He realized that when the ball comes towards him, catch it. He got another touchdown. Lad McConkey looks like he's not having a sophomore slump of any kind. He's still plowing on. And Keenan Allen is always a reliable pair of hands at wide receiver. And I think the defense looks solid. The loss of Khalil Mack, that injury, by the way, was grim. That was his arm went fucking. That was horrible. But I think they'll be fine without him. I've read earlier that it's only supposed to be a few weeks. It's a dislocated elbow, so he should be back soon enough. And I think the Chargers have just looked much more promising than the Broncos. And this Broncos defense that's supposed to be. I mean, I've been saying it as well that it's like one of the best in the NFL. Might have taken a step back. I don't know. So I think, Chargers for me.
Got to say about Keenan Allen, what the fuck is going on with his shoulders? Has anyone seen that?
Oh, yeah, they're freaky as fuck, then.
Really weird.
I read about why it actually is.
He had like surgery or something.
No, he didn't have the surgery.
Is that why it's so bad?
Some form of like joint sprain, where if you have the surgery, you miss like 6 months.
Right.
If you don't have surgery, you carry on playing. And both his shoulders are freaky as fuck, man.
Really weird.
I've not seen them, and I feel like I need to see them now. I'm going to look after this.
You need to see them.
They're pointy.
Yeah, they're like pointy out of his shoulder. It's horrible. Moving on, a bit of differential for the first time, and I don't even know how many picks it's been. But I've gone with the 49ers against the Cardinals. You two have gone with the Cardinals. And we're back in McCorkle for another big week after his win last week, albeit against the Saints. But I still think the Cardinals are a bit of a fraudulent 0-2 because they have played two of the worst teams in the NFL in their first two games. So obviously they're 2-0. But The Niners still look good even with Matt. I mean, Matt Jones has always been okay. He's not been amazing. Has been a backup for a while, but he's still okay. He's not bad. Like, I think there's a ceiling here for the 49ers with him where they can win a few games, and I think this is one of them. They do win. I think you still have to consider they still have Christian McCaffrey, who is looking more like the Christian McCaffrey we remember from a couple of seasons ago rather than the Christian McCaffrey with no legs. And I still think I don't know who's going to be playing receiver. Jennings was still really good against the Saints. I don't know if Pearsall or is back for this week. I'm not entirely sure, but regardless, I still think they have more firepower in this team than the Cardinals. And Kyler Murray still can't see over his offensive line. So,
James, my Giants Welsh friend,
yes,
I'm going to take you back 6 days ago. We're recording this on Wednesday. We recorded the last predictions on last Thursday. When you picked the Saints that everyone thinks are going to go winless against the 49ers, and you now think the 49ers can beat the Cardinals, and the Cardinals beat the Saints.
Yeah. That's because I hadn't seen Matt Jones for a very long time. And I've now seen him, and he threw 3 touchdowns. So I'm convinced he's got enough to beat a pretty...
Wait. But who did McCorkle throw those touchdowns on? What defense was it?
It doesn't matter.
Where in America?
I just said this.
No. He scored 3 touchdowns against New Orleans, who are dog shit. I think the Cardinals should probably win this one. And it's obviously a divisional game, so they're always close, unless it's like Ravens-Browns, but we don't talk about that. So yeah, I just think the Cardinals, I think Maserati Marv is going to have a big game. He's had a decent start to the season, and I think he'll carry it on. And I just think, I just can't back McCorkle, man. I backed him last week because funny, innit? But no, the Cardinals are a more serious opponent than the Saints, and they should win.
I mean, my thing is obviously, so you said that they beat the Saints. They made hard work of beating the Saints.
They still beat them.
But you decided to pick them off the back of that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
not you, the Niners. You picked them off the back of struggling to beat the New Orleans Saints.
In fairness, the Saints prediction was like 90%. I need to pick someone different, otherwise it's going to be the most boring video of all time. More than I actually believe the Saints would win.
I mean, I know obviously the Cardinals tried their best in the fourth quarter to fuck up that game the other day, but Trey McBride could go over 200 here. They look good. They don't think they look terrible. You're acting like they look terrible. They don't. They don't look bad. They're not.
I'm not saying they look bad. I'm just saying they barely beat the Panthers and they barely beat the Saints.
Okay, but good teams win those games. Good teams win those games, and they win.
Yeah, by a lot more points than 5.
No. That's not always the case. The Rams and Texans game wasn't a blowout, and you've got the Rams to go to the Super Bowl this season, might I remind you?
The Rams and who?
The Texans.
Are you comparing the Houston Texans to the Arizona Cardinals?
The Texans are 0-2. The Cardinals are 2-0.
Yeah, look who they played.
Plus,
the only team that's in front of you, James.
I need Kyler Murray to ball out because he is now my fantasy quarterback for the next 3 months. So let's go Cardinals, rise up Red Sea or whatever they fucking say. Because I'm struggling. I pay for that league. I need to buy food, man. Please, Kyler Murray, stop performing.
I'm just going to move on before absolute head loss ensues. Next up, and as much
I had already done.
As much as I didn't want to do this, everyone's back the Cowboys to beat the Bears. In all fairness, if this was anyone but the Bears, I might have gone the other direction because the Cowboys are shit. But unfortunately, the Bears are really shit. So that was pretty much my entire logic with this
analysis.
Yeah. There isn't much more to it, though. The Cowboys bad, Bears worse. Yeah, journalist, yeah.
I'm just... So, obviously, I'm going to... Again, I like taking you back to the start of the season and laughing at you. So, you obviously were saying at the start of the season that your defense is great, the Giants' defense is great. But now, the Cowboys are shit, but they still put a load of points on your very, very good defense.
You got there in the end, mate.
Do you know, I can't even say what I want to say because I probably get us cancelled. But let's just say there is an absolute twat who is coaching our defense, and that's why it's so
Come on, say it like a man.
No,
You
because
like when I'm angry.
Do you want me to swear? I can swear.
there's comments that can't go on the podcast, and this is one of them. But no, our defense is shocking because our defensive coordinator is a fucking idiot.
I agree with you on the Bears not being very, very good this year. Bar Rome Dunze, obviously, big up Rome. But yeah, the rest of them aren't great. So just give me the Cowboys. I'm not going to watch this game. There's no point in me talking about it. So
yeah, I mean it's already been said. Really, the Bears have had a very poor start, and I don't think this is the game where it's going to pick up for them. As I checked the Saints schedule, they do have the Saints coming up soon, so they'll get a win there. You'd think that's nice for Chicago, I guess. Bear down. I think it should be a pretty routine win for Dak and the boys. Unfortunately, as a Bears enjoyer.
I just think if you're letting the Giants put 37 points on your head, then there is always a chance that someone will beat them. But I just don't think, with how bad the Bears have been in the first two games, there's enough quality in the team, bar Dunze, to actually do anything against the Cowboys. So that's why I've gone with that. The next one, we're not going to talk about it for very long because I just don't want depression. Giants Chiefs, yay! The game I thought I was missing because of Post Malone, but turns out it's on fucking prime time.
Big up MVC.
I've never hated an organization more in my entire life, and I literally support the New York Giants.
So I'll go first because I want James to go last and tell us how much he really hates this coordinator.
But he's not afraid to swear. He's not afraid to swear.
I can swear. I very, very nearly went for the Giants. That offense did look really good. I mean, Russ was just throwing the Hail Marys and they were working. And Neighbors performed really well as well. The Chiefs haven't looked like the same team. So on paper, really, people probably are going to be picking the Giants this week. But the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. I know they haven't looked the same. But they're not going to carry on doing this. And this is a great game for them to start winning games again. So give me the Chiefs.
If we're having James go last, I think that this is a game that you probably shouldn't put your foot down for us to get back and watch, to be honest, Keane. I think it's going to be
No, I think I might stop at the services.
Yeah, stay there for get a KFC while we're there, you know what I mean? But
I'd stick around.
I think it's going to be a rotter, to be honest. I think it's going to be like 20 points to 13 to Kansas City or something. Kelsey looks... I don't know what's going on with Kelsey this season. I think he's got some sort of brain damage. And his bird, but we don't want people doxing us on the internet for saying bad things about Taylor Swift.
I dare you to dox. Try it. I'm
not involved.
Yeah, I know you live.
Not involved.
Yeah, I mean, there was the interception that went like straight to Kelsey's hands. He should have caught it. It got picked off, and then there's just a clip of him going as if that wasn't his fault and no one else's. Mahomes has been. I feel like Mahomes is just doing the best with what he's got at the minute, and he's rushing a lot as well, which is showing that he's kind of just looking downfield. He's got no option, so he's just going, "Oh, fuck it, I'll just run for first down." I'm back in the Mahomes rushing line again this week, by the way, if anyone's interested. But yeah, I think they should just be better than the Giants, who are definitely one of the franchises in New York.
Yeah, just I'm just give up with this team already. The Chiefs, if they don't beat us, should just fucking fold the whole franchise. Just get rid of it. They should not be allowed to compete in the NFL if they actually lose to us. Because fucking hell. As I said, I genuinely was really impressed by how we played on the offensive side of the ball against the Cowboys. We were really good. You can't argue with 450 yards from Russ. Malik and Wandale both had over 160 receiving yards. So you think you've just said that, you think, you must have won by loads. But no, we fucking didn't because Shane Bowen is useless. And we still managed to find a way to lose. But yeah, until Shane Bowen leaves, I can't back us to win a game because we just aren't going to win a game. It's not going to happen because, especially not against the Chiefs. I just can't be bothered.
I can't take you seriously.
I can't take seriously because he's just said that there's things he can't say on this podcast and they refer to him as an idiot.
I might have to do loads of bleeping in the edit for this one because he's going off. He's on a mad one here.
All I'll say is there's been a picture circulated of Shane Bowen where they've edited his face onto a certain German dictator from back in the day, and that pretty
He's
much
actually
sums up my
Austrian.
opinion.
He's Austrian.
I don't know.
Well, from the German dictator, not he is Austrian. Yes, I am aware. But
I don't know what you mean.
yeah, but yeah, that pretty much sums up my entire thought process on Shane Bowen. And until he's fired, as much as I do think we have a chance because the Chiefs' offense is absolute shite, it will probably be made to look really, really good against us.
I'm gonna just get this full rant in the edit and like put clown music over it, or like the Benny Hill song or something.
Nah, Part Life.
That's even better.
Finally, Ravens versus the Lions. A bit of differential again for the final one. So I suppose I'll let you start, Max.
For the Ravens, firstly and foremost, of course. Fuck them forever. I think Detroit looked very good in the second week game. St. Brown turned up and made his fantasy owners very, very happy. And Baltimore, for at least 2 quarters there, sort of struggled against us. They couldn't get the running game going at all because we have the best rushing defense in the NFL. It's a shame that everything else is 32nd. Yeah, I think it'll be a close one. I think it'll be another entertaining primetime game from Baltimore. And I think this time they'll bottle it against the Lions instead of the Bills because fuck the Ravens, fuck them forever.
Kian?
I'm pleased to see that this is Monday Night Football so that we can all forget about Sundays and then move on to this as fast as possible. But I think, look, my thing with the Ravens is they look really good against the Bills. Obviously lost that game, completely choked, which is what they do. But then they didn't look good against the Browns. They still put 40 points up. So that's back-to-back games where they've nearly put 40. Did they put 40 up against
the Bills? That's not an accomplishment.
I think they did. I think it was 41-40.
They got 40 against the Bills, 41 against us.
So their offense is clearly firing even when the running game isn't working. Whereas the Lions in that first game looked terrible against a competent team. They looked good against the Bears. I don't know. I just think the Ravens have got enough, and they've got a point to prove as well, having their first primetime game not being the best. So give me the Ravens, but I do think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I've sort of gone with a similar direction as Kian, to be honest. I was tempted. This is probably the one game that took a bit more thought than most of the other ones because this is 2 very good teams, which we haven't really seen a lot this year, bar when the Ravens played the Bills. But I think the Lions, as I said, they bounced back really well after a tough week 1 divisional loss with a massive divisional win, which is exactly what they needed. And any offense capable of putting up 50 points in this league, regardless of who you're playing, is a good offense. So I think it'll be tight, but I think, as Kian said, there's just so much quality in this Ravens offense. The defense is really good as well when it's on form. So I think it'll just be pure quality over anything. And I think the Ravens have slightly more than the Lions.
I want to have a quick game of bingo, lads. Which quarter is Isaac Tesla going to make his amazing catch in this game?
3.
First play.
3.
Third quarter. First play.
Yeah, like Gino made his amazing throw on the first play.
I'm gonna say that Tesla gets the game-winning touchdown in the fourth quarter with an amazing grab.
I wonder if he'll make more than 1 catch this week.
You what?
I wonder
No,
if
he's
he'll
not
make more
allowed.
than 1 catch.
No, he's just gonna make one. We're really good
fucking
ones.
super glue hands. And they bring him on once a game. I'm fed up with it.
My prediction, it'll be the most meaningless catch when they're losing in the third quarter, but he's going to catch like a 40-yard bomb over 3 defenders with 1 hand or some shit, because that's just seems to be what he does, and then he'll get taken out for the rest of the game because he's not allowed to get more than 1 catch. He's going to finish the year with like 18 receptions and like 500 yards, 600
I shouldn't have
yards.
taken him in fantasy. He's a terrible fantasy player.
He's an awful fantasy player.
I forgot to mention on the last episode my favourite moment from last week, which was watching Joe Flacco try to chase down Nate Wiggins, who runs like in the 4.2s. And Joe Flacco's a 40-year-old man. So that was my favourite moment of last week, if anyone was interested. My favourite moment of week 1 was also Joe Flacco. It was watching him try to do a spin move. So let's see what he does against the Packers this week.
Probably get his leg snapped enough by Micah Parsons, I'd imagine.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it'll be Rashan Gary who snaps him in half. Who knows?
You're putting him in like a fucking Will Levis type highlight, really.
Yeah,
It's fun to watch.
I wonder if Dylan Gabriel comes in like the fourth quarter. I don't know.
I've got a fun game for us all.
Oh god.
But it only works if you've got like something to write something down on.
Write it on my phone.
I have my phone, yeah.
So if this doesn't work, just cut it out the edit and pretend it never happened. So I saw this the other day on somewhere, and I can't remember what it is. You're competing against each other. I'm going to give you a minute to write down as many NFL Coach of the Years since 2000, and the winner gets fuck all. But
I am fucked. You putting me against this fucking hell.
Me? I don't. You think I care about coaches? I am the coach in my head.
I can change it to you. I can change it to offensive.
Right, when do we start?
I was just going to write down Kevin Stefanski twice and then leave it.
Right. 3.
We're not counting multiple winners, are we? No, just one.
No, just one.
Fuck. That's two.
Right.
That's one of mine gone.
3, 2, 1, go.
So wait, are we just going to sit here in silence for a minute?
Cut out the bit. No, I'll keep everyone entertained. So what about that Tennessee kicker, guys? Fuck that guy. The second it works, just cut the minute. Just cut the minute. No one needs
that's
to
probably
see
a better idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go to James first. Obviously, you can have the same answers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to James first.
I've gone Kevin Stefanski.
Yep.
Give him
won
that
it in 23.
Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel won it in 2021. Yeah.
Brian Daboll somehow.
22. Yeah. So that's 3.
John Harbaugh.
2019. Yes.
Kevin O'Connell.
2024. You're on 5.
Sean McVay.
2017. 6.
Bill Belichick. I assume he won it at some point.
Yeah, you won it like 4 times.
Sean Payton.
Yes, Peyton won it.
And Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera did win it. So all of yours were correct. You got 8.
I'll take that.
I think
Max,
James
you
was good.
You
I
are.
think James won it.
Some of mine were guesses. I just started thinking of coaches and thinking he's good. He might win one. So we got Stefanski, obviously.
Yeah.
I put down Andy Reid.
Yes, 2002.
Ooh.
Yes. I thought he might have won one back in the day. I
I
know he's
didn't
not
think
won.
he did. I knew he hadn't won with the Chiefs, so I didn't do it.
Kevin O'Connell. He was
Yeah,
last year's. Shanahan.
Shanahan, let me have a look. Bear
Surely
with me.
not.
No, never.
Look, I knew that one was a miss. LaFleur. Matt LaFleur. Another miss, I think.
I don't think he's
No, he's not won it.
I got Doug Peterson.
Sure.
You actually might have. Hold on. No.
I was going to say, are we fucking joking if he's won one?
I got Dan Campbell.
No.
And then the other 3 James said, so I know they got them. I got McVay, Vrabes, and Belichick.
The pointless answer. I know that pointless does. We can't really do pointless. So I'm not asked anyone, but I think the pointless answer would probably be. Let's have a quick look. Dick Joron for the Chicago Bears in 2001.
It's got a good name.
Was that a win for me?
Yeah, I think you did win.
I think I was like 6.
Other answers you could have had that you probably are annoyed you missed. Matt Nagy, you could have had. Bruce Arians won it twice.
That's just, I can't believe I didn't think of that one.
Could have had Jim Harbaugh.
I didn't write either of them down for some reason.
I knew John had won one. I didn't know Jim had won one.
Yeah, he won it in 2011.
I think John's won 2, isn't he?
I can't remember if James did have this, but you also could have had Sean Payton.
Yeah, I did.
He did have Payton. Well, that was
yeah.
an annoying end to the episode.
That is the end of the episode. So, thank you very much.
Do the college question again. I'm good at that one. Kian, you're asking it next week.
You are.
Yeah, I are.
But yeah, that is the end of the episode. Thank you very much to Kian and Max for joining me as always, and we will see you all next week for our review.